you what bugs me? The declining new norm.
How dare you, insect? How dare you interrupt?
This is the bathroom. Now watch out, we got some bad roaches here. Hey, you're on our turf, man.
And man, I'll cut you up so bad. You're gonna wish I don't cut you up so bad.
Those are bad roaches. I blame this one.
Cats don't care about
Fuck. I didn't tell you how it ends. Dr. Phil says, and now...
People always ask me how someone could let their pest problem get so bad. They see pictures or video on the internet of people living with thousands of roaches, bed bugs, or rats, and they can't fathom why the person isn't doing something about it, or why they tolerate such unfavorable conditions. It's hard to understand if you've never been there. I love the shore hoarders, and the same question gets asked about the excessive stuff as the excessive bugs. Over the years, I've called it the declining new norm. The person who has roaches in every nook and cranny, or the person who can't get into their bathroom because of all the stuff, they don't like their situation. It didn't happen overnight, and they didn't wake up one day with a desire to live that way. So why in the world would they live like that? The short answer is the old concept of death by 1,000 paper cuts. It starts off small, unassuming, and most importantly, ignorable. Out of sight and out of mind. No pest infestation or horde happened overnight. So here is usually how the situation unfolds. The first indication of a problem usually motivates action, but rarely an appropriate reaction. They may clean the house, search for the pest, or even start spraying. Unfortunately, these are usually an overreaction or an underreaction, but the result is the same. If they don't put forth any real effort, or they go nuclear, both often end up with the same results. It comes down to knowledge. Knowing what to do is important. Now, to be fair, just because you see one bug doesn't justify breaking out a 100-gallon tank and soaking the house top to bottom. You'd be horrified if you knew what pests come and go in your home that you never see. On top of that, using the wrong product, mixing it wrong, putting it in the wrong places, or expecting it to do something it wasn't designed to do in the first place can actually make the situation worse as well. Many sprays you can buy down at the Wally World or Lowe's are classified as repellents. What ends up happening is you kill some, but the rest you repel away from where you treated. So you don't see any, you think you did something good. They'll be back when that wears off, they get used to it or find a way around. All you did was spread them further into the walls or into new areas, and this becomes your new norm. So you still don't see that many. It's enough to ignore. Everybody gets them once in a while, right? Maybe you just start doing things that seem to help, like keeping the dishes washed or getting onto the kids when they make a mess. You do what you know and formulate a belief that it's helping, because to believe you have roaches is unthinkable. Maybe you have a water bug instead of a roach. Same thing. Makes you feel better. Only nasty people have roaches, honey. We just have water bugs. I hear that all the time. This denial is the new norm. The next stage, you failed. You still got bugs. You tried some stuff and it didn't work. So now what? Okay, so if 1 ounce worked a little bit, then 3 ounces will get them right good, right? No. This is the next stage of your declining norm. You should have already called a professional at this point. Instead, you use more, makes it stronger, use it more often, whatever. All for naught. You may get a little different results this way, but that still isn't going to fix the problem. Some people perpetually live in this stage, buying more and more products or trying out new ones, all to no avail. The problem is still knowledge. You don't know why you aren't successful. You are now at a critical stage where you either secede to help, or you go further down the rabbit hole, and that becomes your new norm. Seeing them and futilely spraying. One other stage is kind of a research stage. You admit, at least to yourself, that you have a problem, so you go to the Google machine or the vast intelligence of Facebook, searching for answers. It will only take you about 3 seconds to find millions of suggestions, from the misguided to the worthless to the silly to the dangerous to the flat illegal. The advice and articles concerning pest control on the internet are extremely numerous, and 99% are complete bull. No wonder so many people heed this worthless information and get in more trouble. It is everywhere. Even worse than Google is Facebook. Every idiot there thinks that they have the answer and swear by it, even though they know it didn't work. People also mindlessly spew things they heard someone else say, irregardless of its validity. Read more about the collective internet intelligence phenomenon, link in the description. The results of this training mission is bad advice. Trying out these old wives' tales, all of them are dumb, laughable, and dangerous, and they don't work anyway. Now frustration sets in. Some people keep searching and trying forever, trying every crazy thing they run into. Like there's some secret ant-killing knowledge hidden in a vault with Jimmy Hoffa. At this point, most just give up and concede defeat, and that becomes your new norm. So it gets worse. The last couple stages are a sad downward spiral, exponentially declining into the horror the rest of us can't understand how it got that way. Death by 1,000 cuts. Accepting defeat, you run on the fence. Your fight is over. Let them have the house or burn it down. Who cares? You're at your wits' end, but they aren't done fighting. You start making changes to your daily life to accommodate the bugs. Maybe you stop cooking on the stove because you can't keep them out of the food, or you stop eating at the kitchen table because they're so bad in there. Then you stop cooking at all and start eating out. Don't forget about the mess that they're making throughout this whole process. You've tried and tried to keep it clean, but there's so many, and the mess keeps coming back faster and faster each time that you gave up. Ironically, the mess just fuels the pests, giving them even more to eat. Why bother cleaning if it doesn't do any good, right? Why bother if you're going to have the roaches anyway? Each thing you give up makes the problem worse until you are living in a pile of filth and bugs. You don't want to, but what else can you do? You've tried everything else. You think you can't afford a professional, but the reality is you can't afford not to. It's not as expensive as most people think. The health of you and your family is at stake here. It may be your new norm, and you're used to it. You've accepted it, but you're still embarrassed for anyone to see it. Listen, if you had a medical problem with your private parts, sure, you'd be embarrassed to show a doctor what's going on, but that's why they exist. You would suck it up and go to the doctor and do what you got to do. Do the same here. I guarantee you, I have seen worse. Let's talk so we can give you back your home. These declining stages of normal are heartbreaking to see. Each one of these little stages, you don't like it when it goes down, but it sneaks up on you. And then you can't do nothing about it, so you just get used to it, and that becomes your new norm. Sneaks up on you. It blindsides you. But it's all fixable. The further you let it go down, the harder it is to bring it back to what it should be. If you've had them for a long time, it will take longer and could cost you more. But it's still fixable, and you must bring it back to the real normal, the true norm. You have forgotten what that was like, but I guarantee you can remember it again. Let's make a new, positive norm. You want to know what bugs me? The declining new norm. But it's fixable, and I love to fix it.
Killing me, Smalls!
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
Yes, for certain. There is no stopping them. The ants can be helpful in rounding up others to toil in their underground sugar cave.
So, I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way.
No pest infestation